Hi and welcome back to Canada Top to Bottom and another in our series on provincial nominee programs. Today we're going to be talking about the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador, which is Canada's most easterly province. It was known as just Newfoundland until 2001 when the name was changed to Newfoundland and Labrador.
This province is particularly interesting because it's made up of part of the mainland and a series of islands. The main island of Newfoundland and its various subsidiary islands is where almost 95% of the population live, with fewer than 30,000 people living on the mainland in the continental region of Labrador. The largest city and the province's capital is St. John's, which is home to more than 40% of the entire population of the province.
Newfoundland and Labrador is known as being one of the most beautiful provinces in Canada, with its colourful houses, ancient architecture, dramatic coastlines, ancient rock formations and wild beauty. The province has a wonderful reputation for being warm, friendly and welcoming, with fun people and a very unique language. Indeed, Canada's Maclean magazine found Newfoundland and Labrador to have one of the top 10 friendliest cultures in the world. The feel of the province is vibrant, with theatres, live music and festivals found everywhere.
Due to its isolated location, it's a huge melting pot of cultures, traditions and languages, taking its heritage from English, Irish, French and Indigenous ancestors. The local accents and dialects are a far cry from the traditional Canadian accent because the accents are rooted in Western England and Southern Ireland. In fact, since 1982, they have had their very own dictionary of Newfoundland English to showcase their wide array of unique words and phrases.
So, let's get on to their PNP. The Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program, or NLPNP, allows the province to nominate applicants who meet established criteria to become permanent residents of Canada. As with all provincial nominee programs, the NLPNP helps to recruit foreign workers in order to address local labour shortages. The programs within the NLPNP offer an efficient immigration process for qualified candidates and their families who wish to settle permanently in Newfoundland and Labrador. The process is smoother and quicker than many alternative immigration routes, as applicants are assisted and guided through the application process. Newfoundland and Labrador is permitted to nominate up to 1,050 individuals each year through their provincial nominee program.
Within the NLPNP, there are 4 categories: the skilled worker category, the express entry skilled worker category, the international graduate category, and the priority skills NL. The priority skills NL is a new program which only opened in January 2021. Being one of Canada's 4 Atlantic provinces, Newfoundland and Labrador is also part of the Atlantic Immigration Program, which is another great program for immigrating to Canada. For more information on this program, click on the link above. There are also 2 categories for entrepreneurs. The International Entrepreneur category for experienced business owners or senior business managers who wish to permanently reside in Newfoundland and Labrador, and the International Graduate Entrepreneur category for recent international graduates from the province who have already started or bought a local business and maintain day-to-day operations for at least 1 year. We won't be covering these categories in detail today, but the criteria for them can be found in the links below.
Let's start with the skilled worker category. This is for international workers who have skills that are beneficial to the local labour market. Applicants must have either an offer of employment from a local employer or be currently working in the province on a valid work permit, and the job offer must be for at least 2 years. Applicants must be aged between 21 and 59 and must have the intention and ability to settle permanently in the province. There is no official work experience requirement, simply that you must have the qualifications, training, skills and/or accreditation which are required for your job.
There is also no requirement to take an official language test for highly skilled workers in the NOC level 0, A or B positions, just the capability to perform the employment duties of your job. But for lower skilled workers in NOC level C or D positions, you must submit the results of a language test with your application, providing proof that you have achieved at least a level CLB4 in speaking, listening, reading and writing in either English or French. If you're not sure what we mean by NOC levels and CLB levels, watch our Canadian Immigration Jargon Buster video for a full explanation.
Next is the Express Entry Skilled Worker category. This is also a path to permanent residence for those intending to reside permanently in Newfoundland and Labrador. However, applicants for this stream must first have a valid Express Entry profile and be eligible for one of the 3 categories within the Express Entry system, as well as having a job offer in Newfoundland and Labrador and, crucially, the intention to reside permanently in the province.
The 3 categories within the Federal Express Entry system are Federal Skilled Worker, Federal Skilled Trade and Canadian Experience Class. Each of these categories have different eligibility requirements, such as work experience and language skills. Click on the link in the description box below to find out whether you would be eligible for any of the Express Entry programs. So you must first meet the requirements to apply for one of these 3 federal programs, and then must meet the requirements of the NLPNP Express Entry Skilled Worker category.
Firstly, you must score a minimum of 67 points out of 100 on the NLPNP point assessment grid. We've linked the guide to this program below where you can assess your points total using the grid. You are awarded points based on your education and training, skilled work experience, language ability, age and connection to Newfoundland and Labrador. You must have a full-time job offer from a Newfoundland and Labrador employer, either have an IRCC work permit or be entitled to apply for one, and finally, you must have either a Canadian post-secondary degree or diploma or the foreign equivalent.
The main benefit of applying through the Express Entry Skilled Worker category is that a nomination from a province will give you an extra 600 CRS points in your Express Entry profile, which will guarantee selection in the next draw, and an invitation to apply for permanent residence. Also, Express Entry submissions are generally processed much quicker than non-Express Entry related applications. However, the downside is that the eligibility requirements for Express Entry programs is often much higher. As we mentioned, the Skilled Worker category has no official work experience or language test requirement, whereas, depending on which program you are applying for, you may be expected to have a language level of as high as CLB 7 and several years of work experience in the Express Entry categories.
Next up, we have the International Graduate category. This category is for recent graduates who have a postgraduate work permit and are either working or have a job offer from a Newfoundland and Labrador employer. It's worth noting here that if the applicant completed their studies outside of Newfoundland and Labrador, their job offer must be directly related to their field of study. And out-of-province graduates must work for a minimum of 1 year in Newfoundland and Labrador before they can submit an application to the NLPNP.
The postgraduate work permit must have at least 4 months remaining at the time you apply for the programme, and the job offer must be full-time and in a NOC 0A or B occupation, or it can be in a NOC C occupation provided it's an in-demand occupation. In addition, applicants must be aged between 21 and 59 and have the intention to settle permanently in the province. As with the previous programs, the International Graduate category does not have specific language requirements for applicants in NOC 0A or B positions. You just need to have sufficient English or French language capability to perform the employment duties. However, for applicants in NOC C, in-demand occupations, language testing is required, and you must achieve a minimum of CLB 4 across speaking, listening, reading and writing.
The final programme is the recently added Priority Skills NL, which is a new provincial nominee programme for applicants who have work experience in occupations in demand in the province and also have a high level of education and language ability. The programme is looking for highly skilled newcomers with specialised experience in areas such as technology and healthcare and aquaculture. You can click on the link below to see the full list of in-demand occupations.
With regards to eligibility, all candidates must have taken an English language test within the last 12 months and scored a CLB level 5 or higher. They must be at least 21 years old and intend to live permanently in Newfoundland and Labrador. In-demand academic candidates must have completed a PhD or master's degree from Memorial University within the past 3 years in either technology, healthcare, aquaculture or agriculture. And finally, in-demand work candidates must have worked in a specialised, highly skilled in-demand occupation for at least 1 full year in the last 10 years.
So that's all for the Newfoundland and Labrador PNP. It's a great option for immigrating to a wonderful Canadian province with either no language requirements or a very low level, and the ability to apply up to age 59. Please let us know if you're thinking of applying through this pathway and what you think of Newfoundland and Labrador. Don't forget to hit subscribe on your way out, and see you next time.